Will and Jada Pinkett Smith are a huge topic of conversation nowadays. The once elusive couple can't keep their names out of the headlines, especially with the new Oscar controversy that sent the world into a frenzy. It just seems like the more they face the public and try to create their own narrative, the more they struggle. So we decided to put together a timeline to better understand the Smiths' relationship. The mysteriously perfect couple. Believe it or not, Will and Jada were not always a couple that had their business in the streets. In fact, if we were to describe their elusiveness, it would probably compare to how Jay-Z and Beyonce are today. Yes, there was a time when Jada and Will were envied for being the perfect couple.
The real love, dark skin and Aunt Viv love, that Jada and that Will love.
They were low-key, had a beautiful family, and seemed happy. The only time you would hear something about them would be when rumors of a divorce circulated or a possible open relationship and questions about their parenting style would pop up in the news every so often. Will has always publicly expressed his love for Jada.
I've never met another person that I connect with in conversation more blissfully and productively than Jada.
And when the two are together, chemistry is undeniable. So let's begin this story with how this infamous couple even got together. Will and Jada met in 1994 on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air set when Jada tried to audition for the part of Will's girlfriend. Unfortunately, Jada didn't get the part because she was, quote,
I think I was 19, and they told me I was too short.
Later on, Will saw Jada on the set of A Different World and admitted his attraction to her.
I was like, Alf, hook it up. Fresh Prince taped on Friday nights, and Different World taped on
Thursdays, yeah.
Thursday, so it was the night before, so Alf was like, yo, I can set the meeting up. I sat down in the audience, and the taping started, and then Alf was like, yo, that's my boy that knows her, and he sat down, and I was like, yo, who's that girl he's with? I was like, the dude that was going to introduce me to Jada
you're crazy.
was with another girl, and I was like, who is
was that girl?
And it was Cherie.
A few years later, Will and Jada ran into each other at a restaurant.
I went in the bathroom at the Palm, and I broke down in tears.
Wow.
And I was sitting in a stall in the restaurant, and I was crying uncontrollably and then laughing, like, what the heck is wrong with me? And I was crying and laughing. And it's like, I knew that was the woman I was supposed to be with, but I was never getting divorced.
Right.
It wasn't until Cherie decided to divorce Will that he made his move at Jada. From there, Jada moved from Baltimore to California, and they started dating. After dating for a while, in 1997, Jada and Will got engaged, pregnant, and married in the same year. And we have to acknowledge that Jada was transparent about not wanting marriage, but was pushed into doing so mostly by her mother.
It was almost as if Gammy was like, you have to get married, so let's talk about the wedding. It was almost like that.
Like she completely just was like, that's not a reality where you're not married.
I was under so much pressure, you know, being a young actress, being young, and I was just like pregnant. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. But I just knew, I was like, I never wanted to be married.
After that, the rest was history. Will and Jada had their family and were even praised for having a blended family dynamic that looked so loving for Trey, Will's son from his previous marriage with Cherie Fletcher. Everything seems perfect, right? Just when you think you know it all, the rumors start. Will and Jada are no strangers to the rumors that have been circulating around them, but they were always able to either navigate or ignore them with ease. Here are some of the rumors about them over the years. In 2011, Jada was thought to be hooking up with Mark Anthony, to which the couple said the rumors were completely false. In 2013, Jada hopped on Facebook to address rumors of the two being in an open marriage. Will and I both can do whatever we want because we trust each other to do so. This does not mean we have an open relationship. This means we have a grown one. In 2015, it was rumored that Will and Jada were splitting, and Will put out a statement saying, so in the interest of redundant, repetitious, over and over againness, Jada and I are not getting a divorce. I promise you all, if I ever decide to divorce my queen, I swear I'll tell you myself. This also happened to be the same year Jada was introduced to August Alsina by her son Jada. And 2 years later, August and Jada attended the 2017 BET Awards together. And after the awards, later that year, Jada went on to watch What Happens Live and told the craziest rumor she's ever heard about her family is that they are swingers.
I'm like, yo, I wish.
So you can see that the Smiths' relationship is definitely a running theme of conversation when it comes to rumors about them, but for the most part, they were still very low-key. And that brings us to the social media awakening. In December of 2017, Will Smith kicked off his social media presence, making an Instagram profile on The Ellen Show. And in May of 2018, Jada Pinkett Smith started her multi-generational perspective talk show, Red Table Talk. Both of these moves by the Smith family took social media by storm. The responses were welcoming, and people loved seeing Will Smith be human and not just the movie star. As for Jada, she received so much critical acclaim and was even likened to Oprah because of her talk show and all of its popularity. The Smiths were now living on a high-end territory they had never navigated before. Well, at least not at this scale, and they were absolutely crushing it by being open, honest, while keeping the details of their relationship private. But everyone knows when you open yourself up to the masses and their opinions, you also open yourself up to a lot of scrutiny. With the newfound success of her talk show, Red Table Talk, Jada started with a bang. The multi-generational perspective gave their audience a relatable voice. When the show first started, it was a thoughtful series that invoked serious conversation on universal issues with Jada, Gammy, and Willow. The series then took a turn and started to tackle messy public dramas. The biggest being the Jordyn Woods and Khloe Kardashian situation, in which she went on the show to tell her side of what happened with her and Khloe's baby father because the Kardashians were dragging Jordyn on social media. Soon after, August came out and told Angela Yee that he had a relationship with Jada and that Will gave his blessing to him.
He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her.
This was naturally a huge bombshell because as far as the public knew, Jada and Will's relationship was tight. And in an attempt to get in front of the drama, the Smiths thought it would be wise to get on Red Table Talk and discuss the situation in detail.
And I'm here with you.
I thank you for that because you've been on a hell of a journey with me. So that's what we're going to start with. This is a very personal journey.
Yeah.
The conversation was awkward, to say the least. You can see Jada not wanting to be as forthcoming, using flowery language like the infamous entanglement.
I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
And Will correcting her and being more direct.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
By the end of the show, you can see the end goal was to show the public that they are human at the end of the day. And they love one another unconditionally.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
But the way social media can perceive things are many perspectives, and the takeaway from this one was mostly negative. Memes of sad Will began to circulate, and talk of him accepting Jada's situation with August made Will look weak to the public. As for Jada, she was dragged for weeks because of her entanglement talk. It also didn't help that August wasn't done speaking his piece and dropped a song talking about entanglements.
The definition of entanglement. Yes, it's when you tangle in the sheets.
It was a media storm unlike no other, and the couple's relationship was no longer one of admiration. Will Smith's social media presence came full of comedy, uplifting, inspirational content, and gave you the feeling that Will was going through a transition himself. Some of his highlights included him free-falling off of a helicopter over the Grand Canyon, and various mini-vlogs that included Will's extraordinary travels with the reoccurring theme of conquering his fears. Will believes himself to have been a coward in the life that he has led.
It was then that my young identity congealed in my mind. An unshakable feeling that no matter what I have done, no matter how successful I've become, no matter how much money I've made or how many #1 hits I've had, how many box office records I've broken, there's that subtle and silent feeling always pulsating in the back of my mind that I'm a coward, that I failed, that I'm sorry, Mom, I'm so sorry. I've carried most of my life the sense of failing every woman I interact with.
And he's shown how he's actively been trying to change that. Very recently, Will came out with a book detailing his life and some of the past demons that have plagued him. When he was in the process of writing the book, he also came out on social media saying that he was in the worst shape of his life and was going to make a pledge to become better. His pledge turned into a YouTube short mini-series called The Best Shape of My Life. In the show, Will planned to get in shape while completing his book in its entirety, but the burden of trying to get both complete turned out to be too heavy. You see him grapple with his ego, emotions, and physical limits in the show. You see how Will's mind works and how he could push past his physical limits to get anything done. Then, on the other hand, you see the mental walls Will has built start to break down as he finally stopped procrastinating on his book to get it done. And this brings us to current events. The Oscar slap. Everyone across the socials knows about when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars after telling a joke about Jada. Shortly after, he delivered a tearful speech apologizing to the audience and viewers for his actions.
In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
In this instance, social media was pretty divided on what happened. Some people believe Chris Rock deserved the slap, and some don't. But what we know in that moment is that Will was dealing with a lot mentally. In his speech, he said, "Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family. In this time in my life, in this moment, I am overwhelmed by what God is calling on me to do and be in this world." Will stated previously that he feels like he has failed every woman in his life. It looks like Will no longer wants to sit by while people he loves get hurt. We all can take away from the situation that Will is a celebrity, but he is also still a human. Jada has revealed that she struggles with alopecia. We first heard it on our Red Table Talk, where she expressed the feelings of inadequacy by not having hair anymore, and shared the process of losing her hair.
I've been getting a lot of questions about why I've been wearing this turban. Yeah, well, I've been having issues with hair loss.
She is also a human who has a right to feel the way she did about the joke made towards her. Since this incident, Will has apologized to the Academy and Chris Rock, stating that he's embarrassed and he was wrong. Following this statement, he resigned as a member of the Academy, and the Academy has since banned him from the Oscars for 10 years, and they will not be taking back his award. So, as you can see, Will and Jada's relationship with each other is full of ups and downs, just like any other couple. This is a season where they have to push through and continue to trust in each other. So what do you think? Do Will and Jada still have a chance? Let us know in the comments below.